Hello and a warm welcome to this special broadcast where the Federal, its sister concern, Puthiyathalaimurai and APT Research Group have conducted an all India pre-poll survey just ahead of the elections to gauge the mood of the voters. This pre-poll survey was conducted between December 2023 and January 2024 across 19 states. So what we have been doing over the last almost 10 days, we brought out a certain set of questions which were asked from the voters of these 19 states. They came up with answers. Then we brought up the seat share projections along with the vote share projections. So all that exercise is over. And now today we are in the final episode of our pre-poll. It was a series of programs which we did as far as the vote share percentage was concerned, as far as the political ground in various states was concerned. So we've covered already a vast leg of the program. And today we are in the final lap where we will get you the all India picture. And as I told you in the very beginning, and just to remind the viewers once again, this survey, when it was being conducted across 19 states, it was divided into 4 zones: North, West, South, and East. So today, when we put out the final all India tally, we will go zone wise. Say, for example, how many seats a particular party gets in the North Zone, South Zone, East Zone, and West Zone. So likewise. So we'll go zone by zone, and let me introduce you to my panelists. We have with us Sanjay Jog, who's a senior political commentator joining us from Maharashtra. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. We have Vivek Deshpande, who's a senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. We have S. Srinivasan, who's the editor-in-chief of the Federal and the head of the Puthiyathalaimurai Group. So thank you so much for joining. And we have Samir Purkaista, who's a senior journalist with the Federal who covers the entire Northeast also for us. Thank you, Samir, for joining. So now let's straight away hit the first zone today. And I know viewers are watching very, very keenly. And this pre-poll survey was followed by a lot of people. There was a lot of feedback. And so today, the first zone which we put out for you is the North Zone. And look at the seat share. And we'll bring out the comparison at the same time. 2024 prediction for BJP in the North Zone. Mind you, it's the North Zone which we are highlighting right now. BJP is likely to win 102 seats in the North Zone. And it had won 83 seats in 2019. Now look at Congress. Congress is down to 2 seats, whereas it was 9 in 2019. Aam Aadmi Party is likely to win 5 seats, and it had won a single seat in 2019. Akali Dal seems to be drawing a blank in 2024, and it had won 2 seats in 2019. Similarly, JJP had no Lok Sabha seat in 2019, and it is likely to draw a blank again in 2024. Samajwadi Party had won 5 seats in 2019, and it's down to 1 in 2024. BSP seems to be drawing a blank this time, and last time it had won 10 Lok Sabha seats. So in the North Zone, the total number of seats is 110. So out of 110, look at the figure where each party stands. BJP 102, Congress 2, AAP 5, Akali Dal 0, JJP 0, SP 1, BSP 0. So that's what the chart looks like. Now let's straight away go into the discussion, and I'll come to you, Srinisa, first. BJP getting 102 seats in the North Zone. So is UP the key factor when it comes to the North Zone, sir? That where they are really hoping to do wonders out of 80 seats, apparently they seem to be winning 70 plus.
Yeah, so the survey is clearly showing a 19-seat gain for BJP as opposed to only loss of 7 seats to Congress, which actually indicating as if Congress is virtually getting wiped out of North. AAP has done better with 5 seats. That's what, if this survey is finding what we believed, that's what it is. But, one need to remember, this is a very, very drastic one if it comes out true, because what BJP was looking out for when Prime Minister said that he wants to have 370 seats of BJP of its own, and of course the alliance much more. 370, when he said, obviously the calculations are based on the fact that they will get more from at least 136 seats or so where actually they have lost, and they wanted to gain those seats. And these seats are largely in the areas in other parts, largely in the southern parts. So if one were to draw a heat map of India, already all the states in the north were more or less saturated. So one expected that the gains would come more from the south. But what this shows is completely devastating for the Congress party,
Yes.
that it's actually lost seven, very minuscule nine, and that too they lose seven, and BJP gains 19. I mean, that's what I see as soon as these figures are presented before me.
Right. So, Vivek, you would like to say something? Looking at the number of seats which BJP seems to be getting in North and Congress down to two, what does the story really say, according to this pre-poll survey?
Yeah, I don't know which of the states are covered under this North Zone because I have not seen the entire survey which you discussed last time. So I believe these are most of the states which we generally reckon to as uh, the cow belt. I mean, the most of the states like Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. If these are the states where these numbers have been projected, then I think the gain is coming mainly from from Uttar Pradesh. Now, in Uttar Pradesh, if this gain is there, like last time they had 62. So if they are getting 78 this time, that means they are getting at least 16 seats more in Uttar Pradesh. And that is where most of their gain is coming from. And very significantly, the BSP vote share has gone down drastically here, it seems from your survey, and they are getting just 0.5% or so, if I'm not wrong, if I've seen the figures correctly.
Right.
So it also means that if the BSP is losing a huge chunk of its votes, then it's not going to the India Alliance. Of course, the India Alliance had not really fructified by then when this survey was carried out. It was not fully in place, and the India Alliance has really crystallized over the last 10-15 days when this survey was not carried out. So if the BSP is losing such a huge chunk of votes, a huge percentage, and if that whole chunk is going to the BJP, then it's quite surprising. I mean, it would be difficult to believe that all the BSP votes, which are mainly Muslim and Dalit votes, are going the BJP's way in Uttar Pradesh. That's a very difficult thing to believe. But if that is happening, then we will need a very deep sociological study of why it's happening, why the
Right.
BJP is gaining despite all the minority bashing and the anti-Dalit face of the BJP that many intellectuals, many writers have been projecting. Despite that, if such a huge chunk of Dalit and Muslim votes is going the BJP's way, then we have to think deeply about why this is happening. So that to me seems to be a very surprising fact in the North Zone story of the survey. But of course, I mean, there was always a scope for the BJP to improvise on its tally of 62 in Uttar Pradesh. Previous to that, they had got 71 seats in the previous elections. To the last elections, and last elections they had come down to 62. So they always had a scope to increase their tally there in Uttar Pradesh. And given the Ram Mandir extravaganza that they rolled out during the first month, during which your survey was carried out, of course, and that was fresh in the voters' mind, and maybe that has influenced the survey a lot, and the gains that we see are solid because of the survey being carried out during that period. I don't know if these figures will stay on actually during the elections, because after that the uh, uh, Ram Mandir effect was expected to peter out, if not fully, partly during the next few months or so till the elections. And of course, the India alliance has crystallized in a very solid way over the last 10-15 days. So whether these two things will actually affect the real outcome at the end of the elections, that we don't know. But if this is the projection during December, January, then I don't see any reason not to believe it. At the face value, I think we can accept it at the face value, given the fact that it was done during December and January. So
Right.
let's see what happens in the next 2-3 months.
Right. But one more thing, and Ashwini, so I'll come to you on this, that when the survey was conducted, farmers' unrest was there, but it hadn't, gone to its peak like the way it has gone now. Then you have a paper leak issue, RO and ARO exam. The students, I mean, the applicants are out on the street right now. Look at what is happening in Uttar Pradesh. So, will all these factors really matter in this final lap in the run up to the Lok Sabha elections? Because we have the farmers on the street, we have the Jawans on the street, we have the youths who are fighting for unemployment. So now all this is it really going to impact BJP in any way? And this tally, especially in the North Zone, can it really come down to below 100 also?
Yeah, so it's interesting you're asking this. I'll come to that. Before that, since our colleague asked this, let me quickly say what the northern states comprises of. It's Punjab, UP, Haryana, and Delhi. And UP, interestingly, the vote share for BJP has gone up, as the survey shows, from 51 to 54%, a 3% gain, and seat share going up from 64 to 78. And interestingly, Congress has doubled its vote share from 6% to nearly 14%, so more than doubled. SP almost stands on the same line as Congress, 15% vote share, hardly 0.51 vote share more. And BSP is a real loser, like our friend predicted, 4.30 from 20% of what it had earlier. So that's where I think the major one gain for them in UP. And the surprise pack here is BJP really gaining in Punjab, which I find a bit difficult. So that's what the survey says, that Aam Aadmi Party and Congress, actually getting 5. I mean, Congress getting 1 and AAP getting 5, whereas BJP getting 7 seats. And the vote share has tremendously gone up for BJP from nearly 9.75 or 10% to 27%. And Congress losing and Aam Aadmi Party 2 gaining, but then the real gain made by BJP. Similarly, Haryana, of course, 10 out of 10, the same old story. The vote share comes down marginally for BJP. And then Delhi. So in Delhi, again, it's all 7 seats, 66% vote share for BJP. But I think there are changes which has happened. The vote share should certainly come out because the alliance has happened recently, 4-3 between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. Then there is a change which has happened, an alliance which has come about in UP. And therefore, some changes will obviously happen in the ground. I mean, the victory margins may be up or down, but the issues actually are brewing after that. So one more thing to remember is, coming back to your question, both the Ram consideration that happened, in January, after the survey was completed. It was completed in November, December. And similarly, Yatra, which was resumed by Rahul, started mid-Jan. So again, these 2 big events are missed out in this survey. Also, the other developments which you indicated have been, these things have been brewing. And how much these finally will have an impact on the elections is a big question. But I think the bigger question here is unemployment and price rise. I think these are the 2 issues which will really matter. But if opposition is starting at this stage, I think it's slightly late.
Yes, that's true. That's true. But Vivek, if I may come to you now, there's one factor which even the opposition parties are hoping against the hope that maybe Mayawati is forced to align with the India alliance. Very remote possibilities of that happening because she's on record said that no, we are going alone. But even then, the opposition leaders, when you talk to, they are hopeful that, there will be a situation where she will be forced to join the India alliance. So if that happens, then in this chart, could it tilt the balance then completely?
Mayawati had lost a lot of steam over the last few years, and she's virtually, what people can see is that she's not interested in fighting the BJP. She's not interested in fighting the elections at all. So she has been very reticent in taking up this gauntlet of 2024 election. That is what people have seen of her. Now, that's why, most of her voters seem to be drifting away from her. But whether those voters go naturally towards the Congress Plus alliance or they're shifting to BJP is the question. If we go by your survey, then we are not really sure where these voters are going if the BJP's percentage is dropping so low. But if Mayawati at all joins the Congress Plus alliance, then how much difference will it make to that alliance? It's a very difficult question to answer, because the Mayawati's voters must have made up their mind by now because of her overall attitude towards this election. If they have made up their mind to go with the Congress Plus alliance, which is their natural choice in the absence of BSP actually fighting this election with the kind of enthusiasm and zeal it needs to, then I think Mayawati going with this alliance will hardly make much of a difference than what we have seen is reflected in this particular survey. Nilu.
Okay, so now we will move on from the north zone to the west zone. There you have the chart before you, which shows that in 2024, BJP is likely to win 128 seats, Congress plus, I'm sorry, BJP plus, that is 128. Congress plus is 11, Independence 0. And if you look at what they got in 2019, BJP plus had won 129 seats in 2019, Congress plus 9, and Independent 1, and no independents are winning this time in the West Zone. So this is the seat share of for 139 seats in West Zone. Srini sir, I'll come to you first. On the West Zone, what do these figures really indicate? And then we'll come to Sanjay Jog, who can comment on this. Yes, Srini sir.
In this zone, which includes Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Chhattisgarh, MP, and these are the states taken here: MP, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra. It's interesting that BJP is actually losing one seat, and the Congress, the other alliance, winning two. But the real fight is in Maharashtra, which has got the largest number of seats, where BJP, the survey shows, has gained. I mean, the vote share is almost same, but it has managed to more or less retain what he got earlier. And the Congress plus actually getting only 8 seats. I mean, that's what it shows. But the other thing I would say that is in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and in MP, the recent assembly election did clearly, if that were to be an indicator, it clearly showed that the gains for the BJP would come in these regions. But since in the previous election itself, it had reached almost a near saturation point in all these seats, there is a very little gain which has come for them in these places. So, as I said earlier, of the 133 seats which BJP lost in the last election, and they have set up a target of reaching 370. The gains have to come from elsewhere. So the story of this sector, I would say, is more or less the same as previous year. That's because they had already reached a saturation point as compared to 2019. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But Sanjay, now I'll come to you, that the real battle is going to be in Maharashtra. What do you were there when we had put out the episode where we had discussed Maharashtra. So what does it look like, from these figures, and how is the battle really shaping up in Maharashtra for BJP especially?
Nilu, I think I will have to differ with whatever projections that you have made, and you said your survey was from December to Jan. Much water has flown now. Look at what is the controversy which was happening between the Jarenge for the Maratha reservation, Bhujbal playing up the OBC, Dhangars are also demanding the Dhangar reservation. I think the whole canvas has changed now. I don't believe in the projections that your survey has made, because it happens to be quite old now. Look at the scenario, because that will really change. Just to be a trigger, 2 days ago, Jarange Patil, despite Maharashtra Assembly and legislature clearing a 10% reservation, passing an act for socially and educationally backward class, he is not at all happy. He continues to have a demand for Marathas to be included in the OBC and basically giving the Kulbi certificates and enjoy all those benefits. So that issue remains and boiling. So I don't see that the previous your estimates will definitely prevail now. 2-3 interesting changes are made. Very interestingly, the ruling Mahayuti certainly is on a back foot because of this Jarange party's threat. But at the same time, now they have realized after 5 months that they will have to now put under a lot of cases have been registered against the supporters, against him also, and they want the entire agitation to be curbed. So they are definitely now has woken up, which they would have done about 5 months ago. A guy is challenging the authority of the state, and they continued. Everybody knows for whose political interest. Secondly, very interestingly, now they have realized that unless and until Jarange is being changed, because now they have started talking that Jarange is speaking now a political language of the script, but in fact, the written and implemented by Mr. Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray. So I could sense that unless and until the BJP and the Mahayuti partners target Mr. Sharad Pawar and Uddhav Thackeray, they are not going to achieve their 45 plus mission. So there is huge things which are going to take place from both the sides. Third very interesting angle, for which Maharashtra definitely has been looked at, is that considering the present caste and community hatred which is on, and the polarization which BJP was expecting because of Ram has just failed. I mean, BJP on 22nd January with the rollout of that extravaganza, the Ram temple and all, nothing being visible in Mumbai and around. You have to mention here, in Mumbai there are 36 assembly seats, 6 Lok Sabha seats. Adjoining Thane, Kalyan and Palghar put together, there are more than 70 assembly seats and about 10 parliamentary seats. In the entire Konkan belt, you add more 3 seats. There is no hawa of Ram Mandir. So that's going to be a very interesting factor, how BJP is going to seek votes on Ram and at the same time riding on Modi wave. Third, very interestingly, in Marathwada, where Jarange Patil has been on a fast, which he has called up yesterday after police action and whatnot, government taking the aggressive posture. But in Marathwada, there are 8 parliamentary seats. Jalna, where Rao Sahib Damdev, Minister of State for Railway, is definitely going to try again. He's feeling it heat of Jarange Patil's agitation and what's happening between the OBCs and Maratha. So, BJP is definitely struggling to put out with a revised kind of a poll management strategy to take on Jarange, OBC reservation controversy and whatnot. On the other hand, Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar are definitely playing quite safe. They know that they have got huge limitations about putting up the necessary candidates. They can take on the Mahayuti. At the same time, they are also aware of the shortage and the paucity of the necessary resources, or in political terms, it is known as an tonic. But they are not sitting quiet. They are also in the midst of weaving into the necessary strategy for the same.
Raghuram T has joined, who is the president of the APT Research Group, the company which has conducted the pre-poll survey. Raghuram, Nisha, can you just put out the West Zone figures so that the audience also can see? And then I'll ask Raghuram for his comments and the big takeaways from the West Zone. Sorry, yes. So West Zone, out of 139, BJP plus seemed to get 128, Congress plus 11. So what do these numbers indicate, Raghu, according to you?
Yeah, Congress has gained 1 seat in Rajasthan compared to the 2019 election. They have lost 1 seat in Chhattisgarh, but the net gain is the 2 seats they are gaining in Maharashtra. So net it is 2 plus for the Congress compared to the 2019 elections.
All right. Vivek, you would want to comment on this West Zone figure, because you also belong to Maharashtra. You follow Maharashtra politics very, very closely. That's where the key battle is. Yes?
Okay. Yeah, I think I would like to agree mostly with what Sanjay said. In your figures from Maharashtra are very startling. I mean, to believe that despite everything that has happened in Maharashtra over the last 2.5 years, BJP is actually not losing anything but gaining two more seats is really very startling. Last time only BJP had about 41 seats, and the opposition was virtually dissipated. I think NCP had only 4 seats and Congress 1, and the other seat was won by independent. So now this time, the Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi of Prakash Ambedkar is probably going to be with the India Alliance. They had made difference in 11 seats. So they were instrumental in ensuring the defeat of Congress and NCP candidates in 11 seats. Now if they are with the Congress and NCP, Sharad Pawar, Uddhav Thackeray, and Congress together, then I think those 11 seats will be very crucial again, and that difference will be reduced to a great deal. But we really do not know how much this OBC versus Maratha battle is going to play out in Maharashtra. OBCs are obviously double the number of Marathas in Maharashtra. Their number is very big, and they are apparently pissed off with the current dispensation. So whether, despite that, BJP alliance is going to gain in Maharashtra, then it will be very shocking to everyone, all the political observers as well as people. If the people have made up their mind to vote for the BJP despite all this,
No,
then
no,
I
it's
think
not gaining. It's actually losing 1 seat in Maharashtra. Congress is gaining, Congress Plus is gaining 2 seats. And the vote share
Okay.
is marginally, it's almost same of
Okay. But
BJP Plus. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I read it incorrectly then. But even if the Congress, the BJP alliance is losing only 2 seats, it means that people have made up their mind. I mean, this is reflecting from overall projections in your survey for the entire country. I mean, despite in Maharashtra, what has happened over the last 2.5 years, people have seen corrupt leaders being taken into BJP, and Maharashtra is not like Uttar Pradesh, where people do not really care about such things, and they are so overawed by things like Ram Temple that they would not like to attach any importance to the kind of politics that BJP has played in Maharashtra. So people would certainly think 10 times before voting for the BJP, for the kind of politics that BJP has played in Maharashtra. So if to put Maharashtra on the same plane as the UP in terms of the overall hypnosis that BJP has or Mr. Modi's personality cult has done over the electorate, I think would be a folly. I think the situation in Maharashtra is different, and I believe that the results in Maharashtra would be far different than what your survey has projected. But then I don't know what is your sample size, what are the kind of questions that were put to the people. I'm really not sure about that. But then in Maharashtra, picture will be different. Of course, in Gujarat, Rajasthan, and Chhattisgarh, you can believe what the survey projects. But overall,
Vivek, I have a question. If you can just throw light on that, even Joe can answer if he wants to. The thing here is politically, lots of things have happened in Maharashtra in the last few years. And of course, first the Shiva Sena was broken into two, and the Uddhav Thackeray didn't have the original. I mean, the original Sena was the symbol, and other things were given to the other faction. Same thing happened with NCP also, which was broken recently, and the Pawar faction kind of seemed, to have to hunt for a new symbol. Now, these are the two major political developments which have happened. Earlier, what we saw was the overnight change of government as well. How are these things being perceived in a state like Maharashtra, which you said is politically a different animal?
Yes, Vivek.
Yeah. I think they have been able to reduce the overall power of the Shiv Sena by having Eknath Shinde and his people onto their side. They have done the same to NCP, so they have reduced the power of original Shiv Sena and original NCP a great deal, and that will certainly work to their advantage. But the overall image of the BJP in Maharashtra has really become very negative with the kind of politics they have played, and people in Maharashtra will certainly react differently than people in Uttar Pradesh. It could not be as sweeping a vote in favor of the BJP in Maharashtra as it would be in Uttar Pradesh. Otherwise, we will have to find out different reasons why people are voting with the same attitude and with the same enthusiasm for the BJP, despite despite different kind of politics being played in different states by the BJP. So in Uttar Pradesh, nothing of the sort has happened. What has happened in Maharashtra, and yet we see that the similar results in Uttar Pradesh, or maybe in Bihar or in Rajasthan or Gujarat, as we will see in Maharashtra. That seems to be a very difficult possibility, and I believe that in results in Maharashtra, of course, they may not go very different from what you're projecting, but not as sweeping as what your projections are showing it in favor of the BJP. So maybe BJP would get a lot of seats, but not as many as probably this survey is showing. But we'll have to wait and see how the things actually unfold in the days to come, because as I said previously, the India alliance is going strong. The picture that we saw 15 days back was very dismal as far as India alliance is concerned. It is really going strong, very strong over the last 15 days. The Ram Mandir effect, of course, will not be there in as pronounced as it was about a month ago. But maybe I don't know. BJP can employ different tricks in the next 2-3 months. So how the situation will unfold, I don't know. But currently, this, and of course, the image of Rahul Gandhi, the image of the Congress party has also improved a lot during the last 5 years. So to say that Congress would be as bad, faring as badly as in 2019, 5 years down the line, nothing has changed for the Congress. Is a little bit unacceptable projection. So let's see. I mean, I'm not dismissing this outright, but then there would certainly be certain changes in this projection when the polls actually take place. So let's see. Let's wait and see.
All right, all right. So now let's move on to the next zone, and then straight away I'll come to Raghu Ram, because I'm told that he has to leave. So let's play out the next zone, Nisha. So from the west zone, we move on to the next zone, and that is the east zone. So in east, you have a total number of 131 seats, and BJP is likely to win 112. And BJP had won 86 in 2019. Now look at Congress. Congress had won 9 seats in 2019, and it's likely to win 5 Lok Sabha seats in the east. Then Trinamool Congress had won 22 seats in 2019, and it is down to 13 in 2024. That's what the pre-poll survey says. BJD, that is Biju Janata Dal, had won 12 Lok Sabha seats in 2019 and is likely to win 1 Lok Sabha seat. Others that got 2 Lok Sabha seats, and this time it seems to be drawing a blank. So, Samir, I'll come to you first now. Raghuram, I'll come to you. What does this seat share projection really mean for the East Zone, and what are the big takeaways? And then I'll come to Samir. Yes.
The big takeaways are the Biju Janata Dal is the biggest loser. They are down by 11 seats compared to the last Lok Sabha elections. TMC is losing 9 seats, and Congress is -4. So the BJP gains around 26 seats because they're gaining from the losses from the other 3 parties. So it's quite a big leap BJP here, unexpected. Really, based on our findings, they're getting nearly 20 seats in the forthcoming elections.
Right, but what's most surprising is almost a near rout of BJD, which really seems to be unbelievable. From 12 seats, they're down to 1. Are they doing so badly on the ground, despite the fact that there is a huge popularity by the side of Naveen Patnaik and especially Odisha, if you look at? I mean, is it heading towards a complete rout?
The BJD is the thing. Graph, even in 2009, it went down. Its seat was reduced by 8 seats, and BJP had gained 6 seats. So, if this, though I must say with a caveat, I take this with a pinch of salt. But if it stands, it means the BJP will further gain in Odisha. So that momentum which they got in 2009, they will be retaining it and make a further jump, because in 2009 also they had improved their tally by 7 seats. So that trend will, it seems that trend will continue. So it seems the BJP will maintain that momentum, but but I doubt on basis of what they will get this jump. See, in 2022, when BJP actually set with their to draw out election strategy for 2024, they marked East and the South as their areas where they really need to do well. And these are the these are the states, these are the regions where they are facing competition from regional challenges. And see, and these regional parties have an alternative narrative to the BJP's Hindutva plan. Be it in Odisha, be it in Tamil Nadu, be it in West Bengal. If they have Ram, Mamata will always can flaunt her Durga. Bengali regional sentiment. Similarly with BJD in Odisha. These are strong regional. These are the regional parties with strong regional sentiment to counter the BJP's Hindutva narrative. So, the Hindutva narratives, if you see in Bengal or Odisha, it's not as palpable as it is in the north. So, to gain this much, this kind of seats, it's based on what? We don't see massive success story of BJP, because in earlier poll surveys, we have seen the people are not very happy with the delivery delivery mechanism, or with the delivery mechanism of central government schemes. People are not happy with this price rise. Then they have also flagged the unemployment as major concern. So despite all these concerns, if BJP gains this number of seats, one really have to wonder why, what is propelling this kind of swing. For instance, now in Bengal, and this survey was conducted in December, November, I believe. So in 2023, BJP's seat share had dropped to 22%. Now, from 22%, if BJP has to get 22 seats, at least they will have to get 42, more than 40% vote. In 2019, they got 40% vote to win 19 seats. Now, to get 22 seats, their vote share should be above 40%. Now, from last year, when in Panchayat election, their vote share had dropped to 22%. Then to suddenly make a turnaround and to get this kind of jump, it seems quite impossible. And particularly when the survey was conducted in December, January, even the Sandesh Khali incident didn't take place. Of course, BJP can, and having said so, BJP can only gain this many seats if Sandesh Khali turned into another Nandigram. But as of now, as of today, as we speak, much to TMC's credit, those Sandesh Khali is still boiling, but the TMC has able to contain it within Sandesh Khali. This uprising has not spread beyond Sandesh Khali, so it's not affecting. It's not getting resonated in other parts of the state, and until that's happening.
Yeah. No. You complete your point, then I'll ask you the next question.
Yeah. Unless that's happening, even if I must say that since in the last few months, BJP has got tailwind, but but I don't think that is enough as of now to give them 20 to 22% jump in vote shares.
Right. But if you look at the number of seats BJP had won in 2019, Samir, it was 86, and now they have jumped to 112. Now, we have to remind the viewers that there was a Northeast Democratic Alliance which was formed, and the chairman or the person in charge was Himanta Biswa Sarma. Now, is that alliance really seeming to work in East in favor of BJP? And of course, the real hero seems to be Himanta Biswa Sarma, the way he has stitched together the entire success story for BJP in the East. Yes, Amir.
See, in this number 112, most of the gains BJP is making either from Odisha or in Bengal, because in other parts the BJP has already reached the saturation point. Be Jharkhand. So in Jharkhand also, out of 14 seats, they had won 12 seats. In Assam, out of 14 seats, they had their own 10 seats. If I remember correctly, 10 seats last time. It's 10 seats. So mostly, and in other states, it was the BJP's NEDA partners who own. So of the 24 seats in Northeast, BJP has nothing much to gain there, because it has already reached the peak. So from there, it can only go down. It cannot go up. So this kind of gain, for this kind of gain, BJP will have to sweep Bengal and Odisha. These are the two states where the BJP is still a marginal player and has scope to improve. If not marginal player, but it has scope to. There are scope to improve in these two states.
Right.
So they were.
Yes.
I don't think NEDA or Himanta Biswa Sarma is making any difference there, and particularly after the Manipur incidents, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi's image has taken serious beating. BJP will gain much in the region.
All right. Srini sir, you would like to comment on this East Zone picture, the chart which is there before us? Really...
Yeah. So it's about the gain is about the survey says it's about 20. 1 minute. It's 26 seats. But if you look at where the gain coming from, it's largely Orissa, where BJP is perhaps gaining 12 seats. And in Jharkhand, it is gaining 2 seats. In Bihar, it's more or less retaining, it was already at 39, so retaining all 39 this time too. And this is interesting because JDS is broken and, and gone to the other side now. And the other state here is Assam and West Bengal. West Bengal, in fact, what the survey shows is there is only marginal gain, 1% gain approximately for BJP in the vote share, but the seats have certainly, improved for them. So overall, if you see, the gain has come largely from the untapped states, the surprise being Orissa. That's where the maximum share has come. There's a marginal improvement, 1 seat they gained in Assam. So the East story seems to be more about Orissa. Like he was trying to explain, our colleague Samir, that there is a whole lot of other factors which has happened which need to be taken into consideration between the survey time and what has happened now. You see, the point really is, when does a voter makes up his mind? There are a plethora of other issues, and we need to remember that this is parliament election, and whatever the outcome you had seen in assembly election, in panchayat polls, they are indicative. But the narrative is completely different when it comes to parliamentary election. Modi is projecting himself, and on the other side, there is no projection of a leader. And also the rally which of Rahul Gandhi has started from that region post this survey. So these are the issues which still need to be considered, I feel.
Right. All right. So now let's move on to the South zone and let's see what the picture there looks like. So here is the South zone seat share for you. BJP Plus is likely to win 32 seats. Congress Plus 32, DMK 30, ADMK 5, YSRCP 13, TDP Plus 11, LDF 2, BRS 4. JDS draws a blank, independent draws a blank. And if you look at the comparative, when you compare it with what happened in 2019, BJP Plus had won 29 seats. So there is a gain for BJP here. Congress, similarly, there's a gain for Congress as well from 23 to 32. DMK Plus from 38 to 30. ADMK had won 1 seat in 2019 and they seem to be winning 5 Lok Sabha seats in 2024. YSRCP had won 22 seats and now they are likely to win only 13. TDP Plus had won 3 seats last time. This time there is a gain for them and they are likely to win 11 seats. LDF won. This time they seem to be gaining by 1 seat. The BRS had won 10 seats last time and they are down to 4. JDS 1, independent 1. So that's what the total South zone seats are 129. So that's the breakup. So Srinisa, I'll straight away come to you. So what really looks very, very unconvincing, I would say, is that BJP Plus and Congress Plus are almost like neck and neck, or we would say is almost on par as what this seat share projection looks like.
See, Neelu, what we need to look here is of the 133 seats which all over India BJP lost in the 2019 parliamentary election, 59 of them were in the South. And the focus of BJP was constantly to try to improve its strike rate in the South. You know, there are at least 2 states where you need to consider. Andhra Pradesh, it has only 1% vote share, 1% vote share. And in Tamil Nadu, it had only 3.6% vote share. In Kerala, only 13%, though it had done well. It has reached double digit last time, but only 13%. Karnataka is the only state where it could cross 51% in 2019. And that's a big state for them. That's where they got 26 seats. And Telangana, they got about 19.7% vote. The story here, obviously, it will reveal in the days to come, but I feel that the focus, why they have done in these 130 seats, because that's where, if you see the possibility of increasing is much more for them as compared to other areas. But here, the politics is completely different. Politics of Kerala is different from Tamil Nadu, is different from Andhra to Karnataka to even Telangana now. The stories are very different. And at least in the 2 twin states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, one expects that since Telangana was a surprise pack in assembly elections, how are they going to deal with in the parliament election? Similarly, Andhra Pradesh, the assembly election is happening alongside the parliament one, where the surprise could come from Sharmila. So there are various factors, still moving factors in the southern states. But the survey shows that in South, BJP has managed to gain 3 seats more. And where is it could have come from? As a projection, I see more or less the same in Karnataka and maybe some gain from Tamil Nadu. These are the 2 states probably, since they were really where BJP hadn't opened its account last time. So probably it is making an attempt here. But I still feel that the situation, since again the projection is of a prime ministerial candidate and India Alliance, here more or less the biggest alliance was to come in Tamil Nadu, which has been intact from day one. So basically, there are other factors other than India Alliance factors here at play, because at these 2 places, at least Karnataka and Telangana, Congress has made some gains there. So the situation, the battle, really interesting battle, if you were to say, because the other places, more or less, the story, it seems to kind of a repetition of what has happened. Here, the narrative and in the coming days, how the battle is fought will decide. But there are hardly, I think, less than, 90 days are left now.
Yes. Vivek, you would want to comment on the
Yeah.
South Zone picture, what it looks like to you according to this
Right.
particular chart. Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I would like to extend the point that I had made in the previous discussion about how things have changed from 2019 to 2024, the last 5 years. And those changes have really not been very much positive for the BJP and its alliance partners, BJP plus, I would say. And there have been some positive changes in favor of Congress plus alliance. These two yatras have happened during these 5 years. The Rahul Gandhi's two yatras have happened during these 5 years. BJP's image has taken a beating because of, they're taking in a lot of corrupt politicians from opposition into their fold. They're misusing the central investigative agencies against the opposition. There has been a lot of anti-incumbency also during the last 5 years. Factors like unemployment and price rise have really become very pronounced. Similarly, in South, there was never this kind of a North-South divide in India as it exists today. We have never seen South Indian states staging protests in Delhi for non-allocation of funds and other factors like the discrimination against South India in terms of many things that we need not go into those details, but those protests have happened for sure. So, despite this pronounced North-South divide that exists today, which did not exist 5 years ago, if we are saying, and there has been an anti-BJP sentiment, anti-center sentiment in South India in a much pronounced way this time, if we're saying that the BJP is actually making gains, then we have to explain why and how. Just as we have to explain how it's going to consolidate its gains in North India, how it is going to increase its share of seats in the South despite all these factors, that will have to be explained. Why are the people going for the BJP? That is something which is very startling. Are people not worried about anything negative about the BJP, and they just want to vote for the BJP because of only Ram Temple or things like that, or because of the Hindutva narrative? That is something which we will have to decode in the days to come if these results are anything to go by, and if we believe that this is going to be the kind of result that we witness after the elections are actually held.
Right. But as Srini sir had said that, Modi is the biggest pull factor. And in every state we had conducted the pre-poll survey, Modi had remained the most popular figure. And it seems that, even the Southern story looks like people are wanting to vote for Modi. But from here on now, let's put out the All India vote percentage. What does it look like? And Nisha, if you could play that graphics where we will show the national vote percentage. So then it will become clearer. So here is the vote share. And if you could zoom in a little. So BJP plus seems to be having a vote share of 45.64. And look at the way they have gained. In 2014, they were 31%. Then in 2019, the vote share was 37.36. And now they have gained up to 45.64. Then Congress's vote share in 2014 was about 19.31. Then it went up to 19.49, and now it's 19.34. Aam Aadmi Party is likely to get a vote share of 1.88%, Akali 0.23, Samajwadi Party 1.40, BSP is 0.51, then JJP 0.08, CPI 0.15, CPM 0.78, BJD 0.87, JMM 0.29, JDU 1.02, RJD 0.54, Trinamool Congress 1.92, AGP 0.08, YSRCP 1.04, TDP plus 0.71. Then this is JSP 0.28, BRS 1.06, AIADMK is 1.07, DMK plus 2.38, PMK 0.18, NCP Ajit Pawar is 0.45, NCP Sharad Pawar is 0.41, Shiv Sena UT, there is Uddhav Thackeray 0.64, Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde 0.53, and other opinion is 4.61, and CSDK, that is can't say don't know, is 11.89. So what does this data really mean? And especially if you look at the story of Congress, and I'll come on Congress first, Srini sir, to you, that Congress vote share has almost remained almost like a constant, if one would say. What does the data really reveal here?
Yeah, so if you look at this data, the biggest gain, BJP is 8% gain. They've been gaining from 31%, they got nearly a 6% gain in 2014 to 19, and they got a huge, another jump of 8%. Though it is still short of overall dream of Amit Shah to cross 50. But it clearly shows that the BJP, the survey says that it clearly shows that the party still is making some gains. But I would still say that the biggest gain since has come for BJP and for Constant, almost the same for Constant at whatever figure 19% Congress has stayed. The can't say don't know, 12% is a big number. So that would kind of indicate that, people, those who haven't made up their mind, possibly those voters, and that's forming a huge chunk of 12%. And how that vote gets divided is an interesting stuff to see in the coming days.
Right.
That's what I would feel. But this vote share of another 8% is a big jump for BJP.
Right. And the other parties, it looks that they are in a very marginal position. But yeah, when it comes to Congress, they've maintained that kind of a vote share. But now let's put
others, we can't say marginal because they are concentrated in their regions, and therefore their vote share looks small, but they are of considerable significance. So here again, these numbers, would further clear out when the alliances take shape, or the final shape of alliances come through. Right. Some of which have been happening post the survey. And when the alliance happens, obviously there is a vote share gain which happens to the parties, because the combined vote share is one factor, and the second also there is a pull factor which happens. One has to wait and see how it goes.
Right. So Vivek, now if there are different political parties and they have their own stronghold regions, so can India alliance? That's the question which everybody is seeking answers for. That can India alliance, after all the alliances are formed up, can they really? I wouldn't say stop the Modi juggernaut, but will they be able to put up a stiff resistance? Will they be able to put up a stiff challenge before the Modi or the BJP Rath?
Now, I think, as I said previously, there was no India alliance in 2019. So that should make some difference this time, because they have all come together. But, they are actually not, all of them are not fighting together in all the states. In Uttar Pradesh, for example, only Congress and Samajwadi Party are there together. So they were also there together previously in some elections, but that did not really make much of a difference. So we are not very sure whether it will make some difference this time. Similarly, the situation in Maharashtra is much different than in 2019. BJP did manage to break the main two parties, the Shiv Sena and NCP. So they have been able to reduce the power of the two opposition parties a great deal. How much of that? But then there is the sympathy factor. How much that will play out? There is this OBC versus Maratha factor. How much? What will be the ultimate effect of this factor? That nobody knows as of now. So there are some invisible factors which have. Intangible factors which have come into play, the effect of which we really still do not know. So overall, the India Alliance story is like this. There are parties in India Alliance which are fighting in parts. They are not fighting. All of them are not fighting together in all the states. So to that extent, although there may be it may be a conglomerate of say about 26 or 30 parties, because these parties are fighting differently in groups in different states, we cannot expect the kind of effect that we would see if most of these parties were together in all the states. So how much of this will have a positive impact on the alliance, we really do not know. Like as I said, in Uttar Pradesh, Samajwadi Party and Congress, how much that will be effective. It all depends on the kind of undercurrent that exists. If the undercurrent of the people is in favor of the BJP, then this alliance will certainly not work to the extent to which the alliance partners are expecting. But if the undercurrent is not as pronounced and as strong in favor of the BJP as it was in 2019 because of factors like Pulwama, maybe we can to a great extent this Ram temple fervor can compensate for the lack of the factor like Pulwama to a great extent. But if the support for the BJP is not as pronounced this time as in 2019 because of various factors, then I think the alliance will gain despite they being scattered in different states. So that's a very, very difficult question to answer. But I think because they are together this time, because that situation was not there in 2019, it must make some gains for the alliance partners this time. If these gains, if they fail to make these gains, then the future of Indian politics will be tied up in different question. A lot of questions would be there about whether alliance politics is here to stay or we are heading towards one party system that the BJP is trying to impose on India. So it's a very, very interesting situation. 2024 will answer, 2024 elections will answer a lot of these questions, Neelu.
So now let's put out the final chart, which everybody is waiting for, and that is the All India figure now for BJP and and likewise for other political parties. Nisha, if you could put out the next set of graphics, where how many seats now in total BJP seems to be winning. Now here is the chart. This total seat projection. So out of 543 Lok Sabha seats, BJP plus seem to be winning 364, 374. So that's Prime Minister Narendra Modi recently had claimed on the floor of the parliament that BJP alone will win 370 seats and NDA will cross 370 mark. So there you see a shortfall. So BJP plus seem to be winning anything between 364 or 374 Lok Sabha seats. Congress plus 50 to 55. Aam Aadmi Party 5, Samajwadi Party 1, YSRCP 13, TDP plus 11, DMK 29 to 31 seats, AIADMK is 4 to 6, CPM 2, BRS 4, BJD 1, JDU is not winning anything. They seem to be drawing a blank. TMC 13. And this others is 34. So that makes it a total of 509 out of 543 seats. So that's the figure looks like. So BJP plus seem to be winning 364 to 374 seats. Shini sir, you would want to comment on this figure?
Yeah. Look, BJP got 282 in 2014, and now they got 2019, they got 303, a gain of 21 seats. This time they had targeted that they would get 370, which would be a gain of 67. This survey seemed to show at its higher limit, 374, that it is giving actually 4 more than even what BJP had targeted. So that's the kind of a survey it is. Now, what does this convey? There are 2 narratives which we have seen being built towards in the run-up to this election. On the one hand, the India Alliance is trying to suggest that, look, there is a complete constitutional crisis right now, and one need to vote this government out to save democracy. And because all the institutions have been compromised, and government is using its enforcement arms in a very you know, in a manner that it is actually trying to finish opposition. And these are the kind of charges, and therefore the opposition's narrative is that one need to vote to save the nation. That's a kind of a narrative. The BJP, on the other hand, is giving another version of Shining India, which is actually this time it's much more substantive in terms of suggesting that India soon will be a developed nation in the years to come. And this particular narrative is based on the fact, some of them that which is very visible in your face, that infrastructure development in terms of road, ports, railways, and things like that. One need to remember, of course, that a nation develops, or the development of a nation takes place over decades. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 decades. It's a continuous process. What the previous government does, the next government, whichever it is, takes it forward. But the combination of the narrative of kind of developed nation, which is built, many of them dreams, and then populist schemes, and then also this infrastructure development, this complete package is being fed to the through the media. And again, the media hasn't played a very glowing role here. I mean, one must say that. Where there is an overexposure, obviously, to BJP and its allies, and there is an underexposure to the opposition parties. So all these combinations are playing out, and the Indian voter, I finally feel, is a wise voter. He would see, finally, when he goes and votes, he would vote keeping all these things in mind and finally choose a government.
Right. So Vivek, Congress seems to be winning 50 to 55 seats, and Prime Minister had said that soon they will be seen in the spectators gallery. You remember that speech of Prime Minister?
Yeah.
So what does one say? And also the seat share projections which have been put out for other political parties, where does the opposition really stand as far as the complete picture of the opposition looks like according to this pre-poll survey?
Yeah, I think if the BJP really makes the kind of gains that this survey projects, then I think the opposition really needs to think that their idea of India is not winning. Their idea of India is not winning hearts. Because as I said previously, despite so many factors stacking up against the BJP, if the BJP is still making these kind of gains, then it can make these gains only on the basis of their ideological narrative, which has cast such a spell, such a hypnotic spell over the people, that they don't see any other factors as being consequential to their lives in India. So obviously, BJP's idea of India is playing a very big role here, and because despite all the many positive developments which have happened as far as the opposition is concerned since 2019, which I have listed earlier, if they're still not making any gain, then I think it's because they have not been able to counter BJP's ideological juggernaut with their own. They have not been able to counter BJP's idea of India with enough ability and strength with their idea of India, despite best efforts of Rahul Gandhi. It's not really it's not cutting any ice with the people as a whole over the country, because we see the BJP is making these gains uniformly across the country. It's not making it in parts in north and then compensating for the losses in south with gains in north. They are making these gains uniformly across the country according to this survey. So I think it's a battle of ideologies, and the opposition has really failed to take this battle to the ideological plane, and they have restricted themselves to issues of day-to-day governance, day-to-day lives of the people, which don't seem to really matter to the people. Like, for example, unemployment and price rise. These issues really did affect the Congress when there was UPA government. And on the basis of these issues, the BJP actually gained power in 2014. But the same issues are not affecting the BJP at all, despite they're being really as pronounced. See, for example, the prices of petrol and diesel. The kind of rise that we have seen, it's not really affecting the people, because people possibly want Ram temple or things like that.
Right.
The only explanation that we can give for these gains of the BJP is that. So at the ideological level, the opposition has not been able to counter the BJP with enough strength during these 5 years. That is where the opposition is going wrong. That is where the opposition is awfully deficient, I believe. And they have to take this battle to the ideological plane in the remaining 2 months. Whatever they can do, I mean, they have already lost a lot of ground. But if they stick to the ideological battle over the next 2 months and not give so much of importance to other issues, I think they can still make some gains in 2024. Let's wait and see, Neelu.
Absolutely. They have lost a lot of ground. They wasted a lot of time as well. And BJP, you can see the numbers here, winning about 364 to 374 seats. But yes, the alliances still are to be formed up. Narrative still has to be built. Election dates will be announced anytime in the first week of March, we are told, say around 7th or between 7th or 10th March. So we'll have to wait and watch how the campaign flows from here on. But thanks so much for watching our many episodes on this pre-poll survey. It was a series of programs which we had done. We got a huge feedback as well. But yes, the numbers could change according to the situations on the ground. Thank you so much for watching this pre-poll survey, which was conducted by the Federal-Puthiyathalaimurai and APT Research Group. Thanks to all the guests as well. Vivek Deshpande, Samir, Srinisa, thank you so much for joining. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this pre-poll survey and who are watching Federal as well, subscribe to our channel and send us a feedback. Thank you.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more news and updates.